The year was 2016, and Montenegro, a small Balkan nation, was preparing for a crucial parliamentary election. At stake was the country's future, whether it would align itself with NATO and the European Union or remain under Moscow's influence. But behind the scenes, a shadowy operation was already in motion. The GRU, Russia's military intelligence agency, had devised a plan to ensure that Montenegro stayed under the Kremlin's grip. Their strategy, a coup d'état. The operation was meticulously planned. GRU operatives, working through Serbian and Montenegrin nationalists, recruited mercenaries and extremist elements to carry out a violent takeover. The objective was clear: storm the parliament, assassinate then-Prime Minister Milo Đukanović, and install a pro-Russian government that would immediately halt Montenegro's NATO accession. On the eve of the election, the plotters were in position. Armed men were ready to don police uniforms, infiltrate security forces, and seize key government buildings. Chaos would erupt in the capital, Podgorica, just as the election results were being announced. It was to be a swift and brutal coup, designed to destabilize the nation and send a clear message to the West. Russia would not tolerate NATO expansion. But something went wrong. Montenegrin intelligence, with help from Western agencies, had intercepted suspicious communications and tracked financial transactions leading back to GRU operatives. At the last moment, security forces moved in, arresting key conspirators before they could act. Weapons caches were discovered, revealing a stockpile of automatic rifles, grenades, and surveillance equipment. The coup had failed before it even began. The fallout was immediate. Montenegro exposed the operation, implicating Russian intelligence in a blatant act of subversion. Moscow denied involvement, dismissing the allegations as Western propaganda, but the evidence was overwhelming. Two GRU officers, Eduard Shishmakov and Vladimir Popov, were identified as the masterminds, their movements and calls traced directly back to Moscow. Despite Russian denials, the attempted coup had unintended consequences. Instead of deterring Montenegro from joining NATO, it solidified its resolve. Less than a year later, Montenegro officially became a NATO member, directly defying the Kremlin's wishes. The GRU's operation, meant to sabotage Western expansion, had backfired spectacularly. The failed Montenegrin coup was more than just an isolated plot. It was part of a broader GRU strategy to destabilize Europe, using covert operations to undermine democratic institutions. But this time, they had been exposed. Their operatives unmasked, their plans foiled, and their influence in the Balkans severely weakened. Montenegro had stood firm, proving that even the GRU's most calculated missions could be defeated.